What's going on, everybody? This your boy King Gabe in the house, and here once again with a second update already. Yeah, we're going right into a second update for for the first novel of Yumeko. Did a little bit more uh, with the book and everything. Matter of fact, even sorta got a little let's say a little more to say with some of the, well, just a little bit, kind of recapping on the previous chapter, just a little bit. One of the things I definitely want to say before I start, though, before I go into it, definitely like what y'all about to hear after you see the video and everything. Make sure you definitely hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends and everything. Let them know what's all going on. Get some of our available comic books, of course. And also definitely support us on Patreon, even if it's just $1 a month. However, if you want those shout outs and some of the other perks with being a Patreon, I would definitely recommend you at least go up a little bit in monthly donation if you're able to. $5 donation get you a shout out. $10 would definitely matter of fact, let me bring up the titles. That way I can tell it to you, right? So you view the page there. Here we are, membership. So yeah, so obviously $1 a month. That's the lowest, which is pretty much early access to content like this one, like these videos, pertain to the different books and stuff that's being worked on, as well as possibly other stuff, like for instance that home movie, those home movies that I put up here a while back, San Diego in Space and Master Avenger, and also another video that will be coming soon. You'll see when it gets here. $5 a month will definitely give you early access to the exclusive content, but also a personal shout out, which is what my boy EJ the Supreme is on. He's only $5 per month. EJ the Supreme. Yep. Definitely a shout out to him for signing up on that. So that's why he's getting the shout out in the early access, early content access. The access. $10 a month will get you those along with one of my comic books on request. So you'll be able to request one of my comic books, being a $10 per month title. $15 a month, have access to requesting two of my comic books, and $20, still be able to request two comic books, but also, not only will you get a shout out, but we'll even be able to do a little advertisement for, say, if you have like a personal business of yours. Just let you know it must be family friendly and approved by Miracle Universe, because yeah, we definitely try to keep the channel family friendly. Want a couple of examples is King's Turkey Legs and Wings. There's a matter of fact, check out supporters of one of the playlist sponsors of of the Miracle Universe, to see kind of an example of that. King's Turkey Legs and Wings, really good barbecue over there, and also devotional prayer journals by Diane Taylor, which of course is my mom, of course. Yep. So yeah, to check those out. They videos of advertising that is on this channel as well. So yeah, barbecue and prayer. That's two really good things to advertise on the channel. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, cause we all need prayer and we love barbecue. So yeah, why not? So yeah, definitely sign up for one of those titers there. Get you some perks as well So now that I've told you all that, let's get into what we're here to talk about. Another update on the Yumeko book. A little bit of information from the previous update. Um, One thing I mentioned about in the update about the fighter jets that Brownie and Gerald had there, that they were going into battle against that monster hat. This is what the fighter jets would look like, somewhat like this. Now I had an AI picture on one of my videos. I think the one where I was about to release the history of Billy Webster, the little promo to let people know that it was coming. Had a picture of these from AI, so it looked a little different. But I actually took a picture of this. This was Brownie's fighter jet, and put it in the AI, and it whipped up a little something there. Be sure to check that out under my shorts, the video shorts. So yeah, the Brownie is the Lockheed Martin F-22 Raptor, and it's called Paper Eater. Actually, this was from a Happy Meal that I got. They had like little monster trucks and stuff like that years ago. Back I was still in elementary. So, and I always the reason why I called them Paper Eater and still do is because, well, uh, pretty much like his name. Oh, here's something here. Pretty much like his name. Don't worry, this is old here. I think this should work. He eats paper. Yep, there we go. So that one's a little tougher because this is label, but yeah, it's old, so no biggie there. But yeah, I always had him eating paper. Of course, I had to go in there and take it out, but you know. So I called him Paper Eater, and the abilities that he had that him as a fighter jet has, he would be able to. He has missile launchers, and also these other fighter jet I'll show you in a minute has missile launchers too. Uh, Matter of fact, the missiles come from this right here on top of his head, sort of like similar to a dorsal fin, like on a shark. Um, and also it can. Oh, actually, oh wait, let's see. Oh yeah, it did. Yeah, I think it comes from here, and also missile launcher look like the fins of a shark, and okay, so it comes from these fins on the side, I think, and the and this that look like a dorsal fin has an electro blaster right behind the cockpit, and it can also shoot fire out of his mouth. So electricity, fire, and missiles, and has a nice little hook on the back. Say sort of like in the book it'll be like a grappling hook comes in handy, as well as also thrusters, which that's quite natural for a plane to have and have thrusters, of course. So that would be the one that Brownie would drive. The one that Gerald drives, and probably Dashtail when his back is recovered. Um, and I did also clean both of them up a little bit because they were dusty. They had been dusty for a while, and I was kind of lazy about doing it. But I did clean them just recently, this morning. Ran them under some water in the sink, washed all the dust off. Um, Looking good. So you got Space Bite here, who in the book Gerald be driving. Eventually, Dashtail will, and he's a Aerofighter Typhoon fighter plane in the book. Um, and now there's one big difference between him here and in the book, and also he did come in a Happy Meal too, like Paper Eater. Um, he will not have this eye thing in here. In the book. Now that I don't know why they put an eye in his mouth. I mean, how would you eat with an eye in your mouth? And yeah, I know the zombies in the book they have where their eyes should be. They have teeth in them. I know that, and that's pretty weird looking. But those are zombies, though. So yeah, it's kind of yeah. And the thing is, that's supposed to be pretty scary and creepy looking. I mean, they're zombies, so yeah, makes sense that you would get a little creepy with something like that. Pretty much like the Crypt Keeper in Tales of the Crypt. so yeah, that's the big difference. He won't have that eye in his mouth. Uh, and instead there will be a cockpit on the top in the book, though, where that way Gerald can see out of the be sitting in the cockpit. Um, Sorry about that. So instead of shooting fire, he has a water cannon, and an ice ray blaster. Yep, and also missiles like paper eater, as well as thrusters. So yeah, his thing is ice and water. So that's a combination that can come in handy, much like the fire and electricity. And excuse me, just 1 second there. Okay, so yeah, so that's what the fighter jets would look like. That's kind of what I base their design on. Those monster vehicles there, really fierce looking. Um, Also, let's see a little bit. So I think that's pretty much the only thing I wanted to uh, make known with from the first update. Yeah, that I did not because I did not show these monster planes and everything. Uh, let's see, go. Also, let's see. So we're gonna scroll down just a little bit, and also the reason I'm bringing this on my phone because last time I was reading the update on my laptop, with my camera and stuff, and I forgot to charge it up. Otherwise, I possibly would have been using it for this video like I did the last one. Even though it is showing up pretty, the picture's showing up pretty good in here. See my when I film in here with my laptop camera seems to pick up better in this room as far as being, as far as lighting and stuff there. I'm sitting under this light a little bit better than in the office. So, um, but yeah, I would have been doing on the video cam, but yeah, I forgot to charge it up. So yeah, I definitely do need to charge it up for a video that Christina and I plan to bring on here in a little bit, probably a few days after recording this. Matter of fact, it is the day before Thanksgiving that I'm recording this. Although some of you are obviously going to be seeing this after Thanksgiving. Hope y'all have a good one, or had a good one. You ate a lot of turkey, and you're probably going to be probably getting ready for Christmas already. So, yep. So acknowledging that. Now let's see. Go over to. Okay, so yeah, we talked last chapter from the first update. Of course, Big Papa and Granny. Big Papa was dealing with the big buffalo and everything. uh, so yeah, there was that. Turns out he was dreaming, and found out that Hiko and Samuel are still in Yumeko, so they headed out there. So now, yeah, got a couple more chapters written up, and there's quite a bit to say just coming from these two chapters, and there will be more coming up in this book. So for the second day, we're just going to go with these two chapters as well as some additional information. Chapter 6 is Hiko and Naomi. So what happens in this chapter? Excuse me. What happens in this chapter? In this chapter, Hiko, at the end of the last chapter, everybody was separated by a warp there, because Flora was trying to warn Hiko, Samuel, and Naomi about the danger that that she found out Brownie wasn't in the store and they needed to get out of there. But they all got separated in the warp. Hiko wakes up in the home improvement department of the store. Any of y'all get that reference? Home improvement. And he looks around for Sammy and Naomi, and eventually sees Naomi on one of the toy aisles, unconscious on the ground. And it's a sort of first thing kind of comes to his mind is Sleeping Beauty. This was a thing in the last thing I wrote in the second issue of Yumeko Comics, where Hiko saw Naomi asleep and was fantasizing her as Sleeping Beauty. and actually had illustrated it. And of course, Hiko imagining himself as the prince coming to wake her. But he kind of gets a little nervous about doing that. Yeah, in real life, when I was a kid growing up around that age, like the Hiko is, I actually had imagined in my mind, kissing a girl there, like in the innocent puppy love, like kissing a girl. Um, but yeah, I don't, I didn't actually ever succeed actually doing that there. So yeah, it was kind of imagined it, but was kind of nervous to do it in reality. And also, a lot probably wouldn't believe this, or maybe you might. Some of y'all might have been like this too. Um, but you know how when you're especially when you go to church, like really old school church, the elderly ladies come up, sort of like your grandma's age and stuff, and you're a little boy or just a little kid in general. They'd be like, "Oh, you are so precious. Give me some sugar." And it kind of, like, yeah, you kind of some you might freak out a bit there. Sometimes they can. I mean, yeah, they don't mean no harm or nothing like that. It's obvious, that's just how they are. But as a little kid, yeah, it can kind of freak you out a little bit, and sometimes they kind of go a little overboard with that sugar. Give me some sugar, sugar. Yeah. So yeah, that yeah kind of got me nervous there. Yeah, and then I grew up. Then I grew up and now and like they say, how they say, give you your parents and your grandparents, give them their flowers now while they alive. Don't wait till they in the grave. That Medea say, don't put no flowers on my grave. I come up and be the first ghost in history to and say, well, I'll say, but first, to come up out of the grave over flowers on my grave. So yeah, so now, yeah, just like they say, give me my flowers while I'm still alive. Yeah, I get. But when I greet my mama and my granny, I be like, hey mama, hey granny. See? so so yeah, hey Gabe, there they go, Gabe, well not so now, Gabe. See? But she know we love her now. I love you too. Yeah. She hard on us, but we love her. We love her anyway. And they pretty much the family. You gotta love them. So yeah, kind of was a little nervous growing up about kisses there. Um. So yeah, it's but of course Naomi wakes up before he actually go to and so I was like, oh, are you okay? She's like, and she nods yes, and she kisses Hiko's cheek again, just like she did before. And it's like, and so of course he has he's like, just out of curiosity, why did you kiss me before and now? Cause I like you. And there's this little moment, yeah, yeah, just sort of looking to the moment. So it's innocent little puppy love, and they sort of not being attent. They sort of kind of forget about briefly, not permanently, but at that moment they don't really they're not really thinking of the dangers they just faced earlier, and then also they become distracted by a lot of the toys on the toy aisle that they're on. Much like, yeah, and let's be honest, I mean, you a kid, wouldn't you be distracted by some toys if you're on a toy aisle? There's that. So yeah, there's that. One thing that's also now I'm not sure exactly how I would put this just yet, but it would be made known possibly some kind of way. Not sure how yet, because you got to be kind of clever when you put stuff like this in your book. You don't want to just slap the metaphorically slap the reader in the face like, hey, look at this, look at this. Look, you want it to be natural. Um, Thing is, Hiko is ADHD, much like myself, and still, is that's been a thing, and also there's and with Naomi, she's autistic. So there's that. Um, so this kind of explains some of the ways that they act in the book. Yeah, uh, especially, and both ADHD and autism are pretty similar. Um, so eventually, yeah, they looking at the IT comic superhero action figures, pretty much their version of DC Comics. Uh, and one of the things Hiko starts to talk about is they have the super deluxe electronic Ultra Cat action figure. So kind of the way, let me say it again, the super deluxe electronic Ultra Cat action figure. God, the way I read this is sort of like similar to an episode of DuckTales, the Duck Knight Returns about Darkwing Duck. The matter of fact, the reboot DuckTales series 2017. Um, when Launchpad and this actor Drake Mallor looked at one of the figures in his dressing room, he's like, "Is that a rare ultra battle hat active Darkwing Duck action figure?" I thought they were banned because they posed a blinding hazard for children. Uh, may I? Oh, by all means, I insist. Ow! Cool! So, yeah, kind of a reference to that. And if I think I mentioned before in the previous video, maybe it was another video previously, but I'm saying it here. Yeah, these stories are taking place in the 90s. 1995 is when the series begins, to be exact. Um, just in case maybe I hadn't mentioned it or maybe you missed it, because sometimes even I miss stuff watching it. Sometimes in general, like we watch certain movies or TV series, and then all of a sudden we look at it again and be like, oh wait, I missed that. It happens. So, but yeah, it's 1995, which I actually was 7 in that year. So and that's it's easier by doing it like that. It's kind of easier for me to keep up with the characters' ages. So kind of makes it a little easier on me as a writer. So I mean, it's like, oh, that looks kind of cool. Hiko, of course, gets excited and hyped up, hyper. He's like, oh, it's more than cool. The IT comic action figures are the greatest toys on the planet. And then he kind of think like, well, wait, what if Naomi's not into the whole superhero thing? Because yeah, and it's not to be like, oh, well, girls don't do superheroes. Nah. Yeah, but cause you got a lot. You got some girls into superheroes just as much as some of the guys are, especially nowadays. I mean, go to a Comic Con, you'll see for yourself. When they all dressed up like different superheroes and stuff. And even other shows and animes and stuff. But the thing was, growing up back in this day and time, 90s, when you didn't have YouTube and Google, you didn't have YouTube and Facebook and all that. Yeah, the internet and in the early stage of the internet, and most of us was looking at, cable TV and stuff. You didn't really hear a lot. I mean, there's, like I say again, obviously probably some girls that were into stuff like superhero stuff, but you didn't really. It wasn't something that was heard of a lot like it is now, because we know, we're all over the net and stuff. So yeah, that's so most of the time back then you heard more boys than girls, which also is why the marketing was like it was back then with these shows and stuff. Like when they sold toys and stuff, they basically the marketing basically targeted more toward the boys. This is the marketing. Um, and when it came to stuff like Barbie and stuff like that, they targeted more toward the girls, not aware that, hey, you got some tomboy girls or maybe not necessarily tomboys, just maybe girls that might be more into some other stuff, But marketing didn't really think that way most of the time there. So yeah, sort of a reference to that. That's kind of so that also affected um, some kids, not all of them, but some kids thinking because of how the marketing brought a lot of us up and everything. Uh, so he's like, but he axes her, he doesn't just assume, he just says, I always wanted this Ultra Cat figure for Christmas, but it was sold out. Um, that references a few things like the movie Jingle All the Way with Arnold Schwarzenegger about Turbo Man. I want the Turbo Man action figure with the fight with the lights and sound and they go turbo time. Electronic figures were a big thing. Kind of still are. Don't get me wrong. Kind of still are, but they were really big. I mean, you take if you had something electronic and said phrases and stuff back in the 90s, you were the most popular kid on the block. Check it out with that guy. It talks. and don't get me started with missile fire action or disc shooters and stuff like that. That was cool. So he asks Naomi like if she's into superheroes. Naomi not really sure about that, but she's all ears, to hear what he has to say about it. And he explains a little bit about Ultra Cat in general. So you get a little information about one of the superheroes that from it's pretty much their version of Superman. That's what Ultra Cat is like. Superman with them, sort of like how an author they have their own version of Superman they call Bionic Buddy. Dun, 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 the Bionic Buddy Show. So he said Ultra Cat is actually from the planet Furon, much like Krypton, and exploded, and he was sent to Earth. His original name is Ultrail. Ultrail. Get that? Got to see what I did there? Ultra Cat, Ultrail, but it's spelled UL hyphen TREL, but sounds like Ultra a little bit. And his adoptive parents on Earth, Mason and Mary Kit, sort of like Jonathan and Martha Kit. Why did you say that name? Martha! Why'd you say that name? little Batman vs Superman reference there. that's a little inside joke from that movie. Yeah, that's not a bad movie, but it was like I say, that joke's been going around, and it still does. The Martha joke. Yeah, like I say, it is there. And they named him Mark Kit, sort of like Clark Kent. So Mark Kit, Mark grows up to be a reporter, and whenever there's trouble in Ultra City, he'd be there as Ultra Cat to save the day. And Naomi's like, he's sort of similar to you, and he goes like, really? She say, because he saves the day the way you saved my life. And just they talk a little bit more, and then they're about to kiss each other, and suddenly they're interrupted by one of those zombies from earlier. Yeah, got more of those zombies pop up. And he tries to slide toward Hiko and Naomi. They do get out of the way in time, barely, but they do get out of the way. And just as they get out of the toy department, a bunch of cash registers come up, chasing after them. So they gotta flee both zombies and cash registers. Hiko uses the Ultra Cat figure, and his magic. He said, "Ultra Cat, use your solar vision, sort of like Superman's heat vision." Also, going back to the zombies sliding towards them is actually another reference to Spooky Castle zombies. Remember, now, like with the skeletons, they would do that, hey, dun dun dun, hey, dun dun dun, and be shooting fireballs at you. with the zombies, um, they they would be coming at you like this, and when they get a certain when they get to a certain range towards you, they will now they walking slowly, but when they and because they walk slowly, sometimes they'll walk in slants to really try to sneakily get close to you quicker, despite the speed that they walk in. Uh, and you know that you ever seen people walk like that in real life? You know, especially like when you're at the grocery store and you're trying to find a parking space, and when you come up there, you know, like people be walking across the parking lot, and instead of just walking straight across, they'll be walking in that slant, and it is really annoying. It's like, will you please walk straight across? So the zombies will do that, and when they get to a certain point, like where they're kind of close to you, they will slide towards you. Some like in the game, they will slide towards you, and if they hit you, you lose quite a bit of hit point because they be draining your hit points, your energy, or as some people say in some movies, eating your brains or something. Because zombies really like brains, brains. Yeah. So, yeah, so that's what he's trying to slide toward Hiko and Naomi, just like the ones in the game, but they do avoid him, and because of Hiko's magic, like earlier, with the ice cream and the fire, the Ultra Cat figure comes to life comes out of Hiko's hand, becomes life size, like the real Ultra Cat, and fires his solar vision, destroying the cash registers, and helps them escape the zombies and also some skeletons approaching. Um, and so now they have to try to find Samuel and get out of the store. Uh, and so Ultra Cat is flying Hiko and Naomi through the store to try to find a way out. Um, we go in chapter 7. We see what Granny and Big Papa up to. They actually arrive in Yumeko. After driving around for a while, they notice something's not right. Turns out they are not in the location where Hiko them are at, or even where the fire station where Brownie them are at. There, they sort of, and it's been a while since the two of them, Big Papa and Granny, Granny and Big Papa, have been in Yumeko. So they've actually been to Yumeko before a while back. So they come to a nearby gas station, and one of the employees standing outside comes out, which is a brown beaver with a tag reading Bobby Bosco. Um, this is actually another plush toy I once had. I think he wasn't. I think he was like maybe I think like plastic or something like that. Um, but it was a beaver I had that was dressed in like a blue outfit similar to Bobby's gas station outfit, and I just simply called him Beaver. So here I call him Bobby Bosco, which is actually a there's a few references of that. One, there was an old deacon, God rest his soul, an old deacon from my old church, named Deacon Bosco, that would always lock the church up after church was out, and like my mom, her and a friend of hers, they would do like the financial records of the church and stuff like that. Um, Referring to this was before Brookwood when I was a kid, and so Deacon Bosco would have to wait for them to get things finished up, and then once we were all that we were the last ones coming out of the church because of that, and then he would lock up after us. So yeah, and he was a real nice guy, real easy going, just so just a chill dude, um, really nice guy. so so I named the beaver Bobby Bosco. Also, it's a reference to an old friend of Big Papa's that there was a video, um, and I'm not, and obviously I probably would not show this because like you say, I don't have the consent to show this, especially with Big Papa's friend that's in the video. So yeah, can't really show that one. But yeah, not not saying his name. Uh, but he said, "What you say there, buddy? I just wanted to show you my new truck there." Yeah, sort of a reference to that. That which was also mentioned in another book of mine, Reality Imagination series. So yeah, kind of references that. I might put that line in there. When Big Papa speaks to Bobby, he might say, "What you say there, Bobby?" And he's like, "Hey, Archie, how you doing, man? Same old, just hanging in there." Say, I hear that. So yeah, apparently they have an old beaver friend in Yumeko. And it's and also thirdly a reference to how my grandpa Papa always seem to know folks. I'm not saying they know everybody in the world, but they know a lot of folks around here, especially around here in Shreveport. Then maybe outside, a little bit outside Shreveport. But yeah, in Shreveport, there's a lot of folks. Most anywhere you go, there's a chance that there's somebody that they will know. Be like, "Hey, how you doing?" And in general, a lot of us have that. We be knowing folks. We go somewhere. Hey, how you doing, oh child? Yeah, I'm doing fine, and you, girl. Let me tell you, oh girl, it's been so long since I see you. Oh, hey, how is Timmy doing now? Oh, Timmy doing fine. Yeah, Tim, yeah, he just got married the other day. Oh, girl, how long you been married? Yeah, the last year. Ooh, time flies, don't it? Yeah, oh yeah, yeah, I know, child. Let me go and finish this job. I'll talk to you later now, okay? so so I was almost like the old like a comedian named Sister Cantaloupe. How you doing, Mother Plum? Blessed to the Lord. My husband, well, he dead, baby. Not Fred dead. Not Ed dead. He's fine. I'll tell him you said hi, okay? I'll yell out to him up in heaven, okay? Yeah. Oh my goodness. Sorry about that there. Gonna have to blow my nose after this. Ooh. Blow my nose like my big bopper. so, anywho, so yeah, they speak with old Bobby, and he informs them where the the fire station where Brownie don't work at, so they can go there and be able, because that's who Hiko and Samuel originally were looking for Brownie them. Uh, so he gives them directions, and I gotta tell you about these directions. He say so. Bobby say you're a pretty good piece from it. If you go back out down Matthew Mark Avenue, stay on that for a while until you get to Interstate 30. You gotta make a left, and then you're gonna exit right on to Interstate 59. Uh, After that, exit right again on West Gabriel Road. Name that West Gabriel Road. Turn right, and then the fire station will be right on your left on Victor Road. You can't miss it. So, and reason I had to read that off because when I was a kid back in elementary, I actually made up my own street names. And matter of fact, I wish I still had it. I could have showed you guys. I don't know what happened to it, but I even how let's see, but I do. There is something I do have. I think it's right in. I can pull it out here. And his nose is getting on my nerves here. In this box here. Ooh. Hang on one second, because this is really getting me. We will be right back after these messages.
Oh, why this cold is really getting annoying. Oh man, I really need something for it. Hey, Brady Brown. No need to fret. I got the answer to your problem right here. Yep, Robitussin Maximum Strength Cough Plus Chest Congestion (DM). Got cough control, say relieves chest congestion, and even thins and loosens the mucus that causes a lot of the coughing and stuff. Soothing, strong reaction pack there, and it's fast and powerful enough to relieve you of your cough there. So yeah, definitely give this a shot, and you'll be able to get your cold away. Hey, thanks, Dashtail. I feel a lot better now. Hey, my pleasure, buddy. So definitely get you some Robitussin Cough Plus Chest Congestion DM. It'll definitely do the trick for you.
Robitussin Maximum Strength Cough Plus Congestion DM. Strong, soothing, action. Fast, powerful cough relief.
We all make some bad choices in life, but paying for car insurance doesn't have to be one of those choices ever so much. And that's why I told you that when you watch the bunny headband for Camille, it's supposed to be hand wash only. Well, that's what I did. Before I stuck it in the machine, I washed my hands. And apparently, improper wash care doesn't have to be one of those bad choices either. But as for the car insurance, Geico, a 15-minute call could save you $15 or less on car insurance. Ever so much.
Hey everybody, you like what you've been seeing on this channel, like with our updates on our books and stuff like that, talking about what happened at church and other fan-made videos and randomness and pretty much everything else that you've been seeing on the channel. Well, you know what? I would definitely encourage you to support what you like on this channel. Yes, support it through our Patreon. Definitely be able to get yourself a shout out like my boy EJ the Supreme, as well as also get access to our available comic books as well. Oh yeah, we got Star Striker, Bubblina, Brown Chronicles, and even Yumeko itself, which of course, as you know, has been being talked about recently with with a novel series in development for it, as well as also Bubblina, which it will soon have a novel series in development coming soon as well. So yeah, you definitely want to stay tuned to hear all of that. Be able to, get the latest news on all that kind of stuff, as well as enjoy our other entertaining videos on this channel. So for all of that, definitely show your support for all of what we do here, as well as other stuff outside of the channel. So get on that Patreon today and show your love. And we now return to our program. All right, everybody. Yep, that's the first time I've actually done that. Made a little commercial break in the middle of my video. Also, also that commercial break is kind of a little bit of a reference to the '90s as well. Yeah, especially the Robitussin, the first two with the Robitussin and the the Geico thing. Cause yeah, that was way back '90s, early 2000. Little just a little something I thought I'd throw in there. Always, you never know what I'm gonna do on these videos. Just let y'all know that I am unpredictable at times. So yeah, when you watch these videos, expect anything. So anyway, before we went off to that commercial break, and also for me to clear my nose up a little bit there, because it was getting a little irritating. So guess you could say I took a little bit of that Robitussin myself. But anywho, it was talking about the directions. Oh yeah, as a kid, yeah, I did make up my own street names. Even had drew out a map, which I cannot find. But yeah, I did draw my own map in back in elementary once. Uh, a lot similar to maps like this. Some of you might remember these. It's kind of. I think this is now I didn't. I don't think this is the same map. I mean it is the same map, but I don't think this is the one I had way back in elementary. I think this is a one I bought that's similar to it from a thrift store somewhere. And yeah, from all the folding, you can see some of the holes in it there. Yeah, the map of Shreveport, and yeah, there's a lot of tears in it there. Uh, yeah, it's the kind of the disadvantage about these kind of maps. Yeah, they will do that. Uh, but like I say, I like. No, it's kind of weird, but I say I actually it's just something I kind of like, especially back in elementary. So yeah, it's a little something I keep around here just for the heck of it. So yeah, and yeah, even though we got Google Maps and all that, and obviously it would be a lot easier to go to Google Maps than to pull this thing out on the road trip. But like I say again, I just like to have this here, sort of like I say, sort of a sentimental value back in the day. Yeah, so yeah, that's kind of one of my geeky nerd moments growing up. Yeah, liking road maps and stuff like that. The ones we had before Google Maps. So, all right. So yeah, that's what. When yeah, Bobby gives the directions to Granny Big Papa. That's what he is. That's what that's a reference to. Um, Once they start heading down the Matthew Mark Road, and there's going to be other street names like Jordan River Road. You heard West Gabriel Road. That's me. So once they're on their way, then we hear from Ramon Rabah. You have to say it like Ramon Rabah. Ramon Ramon Rabon. So yeah, he's so yeah, anthropomorphic rabbit that's a sorcerer in this a villain sorcerer. Sort of like imagine Jafar from Aladdin if he was a rabbit. um, and he's watching Grand Big Papa through his magic crystal ball, and apparently Shanice from earlier is in there with him. They're up in the upstairs office of the Cola Mart, and so he just and now I'm gonna do some just a little bit of correction to this chapter when I get back to writing the book and writing some more to the book and everything to try to get it finished before this year's over. Like I say, got like pretty much a little just a little pretty much a month, might as well say. So yeah, try to have this rough draft at least done before the year's over. Um, so yeah, he sends he's gonna send them to this dragon's den. He That's why I say I'm gonna kind of rewrite a few things in this part of the chapter. Uh, but he sends them to a dragon's den, which is a reference to way back at my granny's. We was preparing for my granny's birthday back in 2000. She had a birthday party for, and so everybody was preparing for it. It was like it was a surprise birthday party. Uh, yeah, and while everybody was preparing, I was at before the party started. I was in my room playing Super Mario Brothers, and I had just beat the game and got the final warp zone, which was warp zone 8, and beat the Dragon's Den and everything. And the Dragon's Den in Warp Zone 8, the final one, it is really hard to get through. So yeah, that probably was not my first time going through that, but it is hard to get through. And you know how they have like the time, you have to get it in a certain time. And after a while, when you start running, when you get to that last minute and you only have 60 seconds left, go do 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 do. The music speed up. You better hurry up. You better hurry up. Hurry up! 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 So, uh, Well, almost, almost got the way I said that sort of made me think of what one of the old ministers at my old church say when he was a deacon, when he was telling me and the other kids back then, the youth, how to pray and how the proper way to pray. And he say, don't get on your knees and go amen. So, and the weird thing shortly after that Saturday when he told us that, I had a dream that I was amongst a bunch of traffic lights that were just randomly around, and from the sky above, I heard. So yeah, it was kind of weird there, but anyway, back with this. So yeah, that Dragon's Den. Yeah, like I say, it was really hard to get through in the final Warp Zone 8 to finally get to the dragon himself, and of course, the dragon himself, Bowser, was not easy to defeat. You know, he's throwing them little jacks and stuff, sort of like these other. I think they're turtles that throw jacks at you. Yeah, I remember there were times when I didn't have the firepower. I'd be trying to wait to get past them. And I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna wait to the right moment. I'm gonna wait behind this to see, okay, how am I gonna get past them? And I think I waited too long because then all of a sudden, like at first, then all of a sudden they started moving. I was like, oh wait, no, 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 ah! And, do 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 do. Yeah, so yeah, he does all that, and one now when I was going to the Dragon's Den, because like I say, it was so long to get to the dragon, and you had to go in different like tubes, and you had to go certain ways, you had to go on a certain ledge, and all of that just right. It was a certain pattern you had to follow, and you had to figure out this pattern for yourself. It didn't tell you what pattern to go, and you had to figure it out. And as I was going through it so many times before I actually won it, I actually imagined uh, Granny and Big Papa if they were driving their car through the Dragon's Den in Mario's place, uh, because of like sometimes we've been on road trips with them and they be trying to find and sometimes they might make like a wrong turn somewhere and be like no. Like no, it's over this way. I know where I'm going. So yeah, I kind of imagine what if they were trying to find their way to the Dragon's Den in their car and stuff. Uh, so that's actually, and so this chapter actually, what happens to Granny Big Papa right in this scene is also setting up for not only is it going to reference that, but it's also setting up for the second book that's going to happen immediately after this one. So a little bit of a heads up spoiler there. Yeah, second book. They're gonna have to rescue Granny and Big Papa out of this dragon's den there. Um, which there'll be more details when we get to the second book. So yeah, but that's just a heads up of what's coming there. With that reference to what I imagined when playing Warp Zone 8 of Super Mario Brothers. Uh, so of course, remote now. Then it goes back to the store. Shanice has Samuel. Samuel wakes up, realizes that he's tied up to this pole right outside the manager's office where Shanice and Ramon were at. Shanice comes out there, and the last thing that I put in there was a little talk between the two of them. She's like, Samuel looks at Shanice and says, I'm gonna take a wild guess and say you must be one of the villains in this world. And Shanice is like, well, is that so? How do you know that, genius? He said, well, if you weren't the villain, you wouldn't have me tied up like this. And how are you sure your so-called friends aren't behind this? They wouldn't do something like that to me. Especially Hiko. We've been friends ever since kindergarten. So, yeah, like in the last video, I said that Hiko and Samuel must have just met like a couple of weeks before coming to Yumeko. So actually, like I said, there's 7 in this. This the very first book. Both of them are 7 years old, about to go into the second grade. So they've actually been friends since kindergarten. Um, and that's them being friends since kindergarten is also a reference to an actual friend that I had back at my old church. The two of us, not completely sure how long we were friends, but I know he was the first friend that I had because I was like really little and we hung out together. And he was 2 years older than I was. Uh, but I remember, but I want to say, because I've been at, because it was like I say, my old church where I got baptized there, pretty much been there since I was born. So yeah, so I think yeah, I would say either two or three. That I remember maybe we kind of became friends and were playing together and stuff. Because and reason I say that because I know there's in one of my photo albums. I think possibly my mom probably has this at her house. It's a possibility because it's like one of my old not just photo, but it's like a baby book. When I was like at my fourth birthday party that I had at McDonald's, there's a lot of pictures, of the party, and that friend of mine and me were in a lot of those pictures together. That just having a good time, McDonald's and the ball pit and stuff. Really missed that ball pit. But of course, there was, there are reasons why they took the ball pit away. Um, things happen, but yeah, say but a lot of good memories and pictures. So yeah, so that's why Samuel say that him and Hiko have been friends ever since kindergarten. Um, Shanice is like, oh really? Well, what about the other girls you met to? What about the other girls you met today? Referring to Naomi and Flora. But how do you know they're not villains? and and Samuel's like I just do. Now stop trying to play head games with me and tell me what you want. Well, Mister Right and Justice, and she tells that her name is Shanice. Uh, and the only thing, of course, is to destroy him and his buddy Hiko. They yeah, so that's pretty much as far as I got. With that, there probably going to be a little bit more to chapter 8 to sort of cap it off before going into chapter 9, which of course going to lead into the climax where they're probably take on Shanice, more zombies and skeletons and everything. And like I mentioned before, as a spoiler alert, yeah, they're going it's gonna be the ending will be I mean it will be a bit of a cliffhanger leading into what's gonna happen. Well, they have to try when they have to go find Granny and Big Papa after dealing with what they're dealing with here in the abandoned store. So yeah, there's gonna be that. There is a chance that Julie, yes, it's a very strong chance. I do. I'm about I would say 90% chance that Julie and Tim would appear in the second book still. Like I've mentioned in previous videos. Now their personal story, which also includes Melina in it, that's going to be pushed back to book 3 now because of this. And this edition this edition of like a part 2 to what I'm writing now, a second book acting as part 2, what sort of just came, just sort of happened there when I designed the second this chapter 7. Originally, it was going to be that which I think they kind of are. The warp sends Papa and Granny Papa to the Dragon's Den. Um, I know y'all probably know as I say Big Papa Granny sometimes, but it's I don't know why it just sounds better saying Granny Big Papa first. It just I don't know why it just does. Just does It was always said Granny Big Papa. So but yeah, originally they were going to be just stuck in this warp, and after the stuff in the store, they would find some way to get them out, and that was going to be it. And book 1 would be, and a few other things, and book 1 would be over. And we then go into the second story, which would be more centered around Julie, Tim, and Melina. But because of that, now it's going to be a second book, rescuing Granny and Big Papa. Then with help from Julie and Tim. Reason why is a 90% chance of them showing up. So yeah, they'll more than likely be in it. Now, how much of them is in the book? Not completely sure, but yeah, they're going to be they more than likely will be introduced in there um, before their focus story being which is now book three. Because of the powers that Julie and Tim have, especially Julie, having psychic abilities. So they probably, yeah, her powers would probably be of a help to finding Grand Big Papa. Um, Almost kind of makes me think of Batman vs Superman when, of course, they introduced Wonder Woman towards the end of the movie to help Superman and Batman face Doomsday, and her own theme music. Do 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 do. She a friend of yours? I thought she was with you. Do 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 do. Yeah, I ain't gonna. And to say what you will about Batman vs Superman. Some of y'all probably really like the movie. I know it has its audience. Some of you probably don't like it so much. But like or dislike, I'm pretty sure a lot of you from both ends will probably be like, well, okay, I like it. I don't like it. But Wonder Woman was awesome. Yeah, so yeah, most of us from both sides of that. Well, all of us from the light, yes, but a lot of y'all from the dislikes could probably agree with the ones that liked the movie that Wonder Woman scene was awesome. So yeah, that's what Julie's appearance for this new idea with coming up for book number two is kind of putting me in the mind of there, sort of. Yep. So yeah, there's definitely gonna be that. That's a major uh, future update. Little bit. Let me tell you this a little. I'm gonna give you a little bit more info of what's gonna be coming up before I close this video out. Yeah, we got a little. So yeah, you're gonna have book number two, Rescue Grand Big Papa, uh, Julie Tim and Melina story for book three. Now, as for the other books that come after it, like I say, not completely sure as far as like the order and how they'll happen. But of course, there's gonna be a story that's gonna be focused with Hiko and Naomi. Um, sort of getting to know each other, stuff like that, things with them. Samuel, of course, debuting as Star Striker in the real world. Yeah, he'll still come to Yumeko. Don't get me wrong, but there's gonna be when Samuel's first appearance as Star Striker will be in the real world first, and there will be, stuff with him in the real world as Star Striker, Shreveport Defender, because there's going to be some villains that will come to the real world um, after some of the events of the previous books there, which is where Star Striker would come in as well as other heroes like eventually Brian becoming Target. We'll definitely have a history video for Brian coming up at some point, as well as Angela, say Angela and Monet, who becomes Diva Slay, uh, and matter of fact, another hero known as the Bantam X. So yeah, a lot of that coming up. It's gonna be. I think I mentioned in the previous video about a couple of invasions that would happen, like the alien insects, the bad ones, because you do have some. There's some good insects. Don't get me. So they're not all bad, but there's going to be some evil insects. But it's not all insects though. Just certain ones. Evil insect invasion. Then there's going to be, of course, some robotic crab invasion somewhere in there at some point. And speaking of robots, there will be the introduction of the Dino Magicians. That's actually going to occur when Hiko starts second grade after summer break. So yeah, after the summer vacation, and he go back to school, he would meet the other Dino Magicians. At some point before he meets the Dino Magicians, he would end up getting access to a dinosaur power of his own, which is the Triceratop. The others would be like the Tyrannosaurus, Pterodactyl, Saber-toothed Tiger, Mastodon, which is a reference to Power Rangers, of course, but as magician warriors. Um, and yeah, so there would be that, and of course, with sentient robotic dinosaurs to aid them as well. So yeah, it's gonna be that, and quite a bit of other stuff too that'll be soon to come. This is gonna be a really big universe here in Yumeko. So yeah, be prepared to hear about some things as they come. Um, and yep, and as well as also the development of the Bubblita novel series. That it hasn't. Christina hasn't started it yet, but she does plan to. It's just all like I say, it just all depends on her and when she decides to. But she is planning to do that though. You gotta be patient with her. She works a little differently than I do, so that's understandable. Uh, as well as also something else that's going to be coming in the future for next year that we're working on there. There'll be more information on it coming soon. Some of you might be guessing what it is because I think there's some previous videos that might have thrown some hints to it there. So yeah, if you seen some previous videos, you might already know. You might be able to guess what I'm hinting at there. So yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that and let y'all figure it out. Just in case you don't worry. We will tell you about it soon. Just in case you don't, and maybe you don't look at the previous videos for whatever reasons. But you will find out. So that's pretty much it. So gotta get back to work on this book here. Like I said again, there will be a history of Brian video coming up soon, and possibly some other history videos as time goes on. Um, as well as also like when Christina starts her Bubblina series, stuff with that. We will have another video coming up shortly on a special topic. Be on the lookout for that, and so and also as well as also Christmas coming up. Possibly some Christmas related things and everything. Just all depends. And like I say, as well as other videos. So until then, be sure like what you see, like, share, subscribe. Um, Definitely share it with your friends and everything. Um, Buy some available comic books as we mentioned earlier, and support us on Patreon. Get on that Patreon and show us some love there, so you can get a shout out like EJ the Supreme, as well as other perks depending on how much your pledge be. So yeah, hop on that, support, and get some perks. So until then, the next video we will see y'all later. Take care, everybody. Okay, we will see y'all later. As Nuka and the Liking. Yes, there will be more. Okay.